All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Harakakadash, the born city apostles and elders, a great millstone, peace and salutations to the hopefully elect. Coming at you with another lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai. And I'm going to touch on Isaiah 14th chapter, dealing with the 12th verse, dealing with Lucifer. All right. So let's jump right straight into it. It says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?" Right? So when you're dealing with, this word Lucifer, right? Let's get it in the blue letter. Isaiah chapter 14. 12.
Strong's H 1966. Haleo.
Hallel, right? It says Lucifer, a light bearer, shining one, morning star Lucifer. It even goes as far as saying the king of Babylon and Satan. Okay? So, Lucifer, meaning what? The enlightened one. Okay? And we know who was enlightened on the left-hand side, like the scriptures say. Thou art wiser than Daniel. So it's talking about it, the illuminated ones on the left-hand side. And we know whom this to be. Esau, Edom. Okay, because he has fallen from heaven. Now, this is another thing people need to understand, too, of the concept of heaven and hell. You have to understand that these are conditions, okay? These are conditions that are played out in the earth, right? And I said primarily because, you also go into hell, which represents the grave, And then you got the heavens as well, but primarily, like I said, it's dealing with the conditions. Let's prove that. Let's go to heaven. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 1. It says, "And thou, Capernaum, which art exalted unto heaven, thou shalt be brought down to hell. For if thy mighty works, for if the mighty works which have been done in thee had been done in Sodom, it would have remained until this day." So when you're dealing with this city, let's go into it. The city of Capernaum. This was a city this was a flourishing city, right? As it says right here, Capernaum, village of comfort, right? A flourishing city of Galilee, situated on the western shore of the Sea of Galilee, or Lake of Gennesaret, near the place where the Jordan flows into the lake. So, in anyone by a sea coast, especially at this time, even at this time now, will be able to flourish. Okay, a lot of trades and stuff. Everybody was, going to different places doing trades, and then maybe they even needed to stop at, your city for rest. They may get up and come in your city and find something to trade with, this and that. So yeah, when you was by the sea, you was more likely to flourish. Okay, and this is what was happening here with this city of Capernaum. So let's read this again. It's all going to tie together through the Spirit. The book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 23. "And thou, Capernaum, which art exalted unto heaven," right, "shall be brought down to hell." So let's just go into the word hell. See if we have here Hades. All right, so they got Hades. And I'm just getting to the point of, what it actually goes into. It says the latter use of this word is the grave. Okay, the grave. All right. But also, like I said, primarily it's going into the condition, the condition. Thou art exalted into heaven, right? Meaning, you're lavishly living, you're in your glory, right? But thou shalt be brought down to hell. Thou shalt be brought into a low estate. Thou shalt be, in a terrible condition. You see? Let's get a precept. When we go into the book of Jonah, right? The book of Jonah, chapter 2, verse 1, it says, Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord his power out of the fish's belly, and he cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord. And he said, Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. Right? So we know this is Jonah's not talking about he's in a place where he's, burning forever, where he's getting tormented forever by fire. No. Right? He's crying by the way of affliction of being, in a state of torment, okay? Being in a bad condition, though. Being afflicted, okay? Because another word, like when you're getting tormented, you're getting afflicted. Not this whole, you go to hell when you die, you burn forever type of thing. No, okay? It's being afflicted. And this is what Jonah was going through. Let's read it one more time. Verse 2, it says, And said, I cried by the reason of my affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me out of the belly of hell. Okay, because it wasn't pleasant in there. Okay, if it was pleasant, it would have said heaven, out of the belly of heaven. I'm good. I don't need to pray to the Lord to get me out because I ain't going through anything. Right? But hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. So Jonah was going through a very bad condition. Okay, that's why he was crying out to the Lord. So when you deal with heaven and hell, okay, like I said, it goes into the conditions. And I just gave you 2 examples on that so you can, understand better. And there's more examples, but, those hit the point for the time being, all right, or for the time that I have at the moment. So now let's jump back to the book of Isaiah, chapter 14. 14, verse 12, it says, How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Remember, Lucifer goes into the illuminated ones, talking about Esau, Edom. So how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? So how did you fall out of this glorious place that you were once in? O illuminated ones that rule the earth, ones that weakens the nations through his power, through his blessing, which is the sword, through his wickedness, through his witchcraft that he has, right? Through his time, as the prophecy says, as him to be loose for this little season, right? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. Right? Now we know the stars of the Most High are who? The Israelites. Okay? And what prophecies say? When you go back to the prophecy, it talks about us not being the head, but being what? Being the tail. Okay? And even when you go into like how he's exalted, his throne above the stars, let's look at it in this aspect, Who's the one that created all these different space stations and things of that sort? Esau, Edom. Right? So it says, And I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north, and I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, and I will be like the Most High. Right? And this is what he does. Like I even mentioned before, how he puts these different things, in the skies, satellites and things like that, so he can monitor the earth, so he could be, the eyes, the ears. You see, he wants to be as the Most High, so when he can look into people's homes and he can hear people's conversations, right, by channeling in on them, like a zoom and get a close up, right? His technology is so good that he can see it. If you outside, he can see if you sweating. He can see it rolling down your nose if you wanted to. He can see if you're crying. That's how good his technology is. Right? Technology is sounds so good. He can hear when you burp. That's how good he can get up on you with his tech that he have, right? But it's all because he wants to be like the Most High, as the scripture saying. He's the only one that's doing this. Verse 14 again, and I will send above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And that's what he wants to be. Okay, because why? He has a God complex. Verse 15, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Hey, he's going to be brought down low. Right? He's going to be in a destroyed state. When you think about, when he knows his destruction is coming, right? He ain't gonna have no type of honor, no type of glory. He's gonna have he's gonna have the shame. Okay? He's gonna have double the shame that we got right now. Right? Esau ain't getting he ain't gonna have no type of glory. Right? No type of glory, none. He's gonna be busted and disgusted until his 1,000 years of slavery is out. It says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, and this is the point, this is the point where it draws the line and shows you that this is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. Okay, because the spiritual demon Satan, he's doing his bidding on the earth as the Lord has allowed him, or as the Lord has chose him to do. Verse 16, it says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the prisoners? Right? All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house. But the point is said, is this the man? Right? Is this the man? This man that is speaking of is Esau, Edom. He is the one who has made the world a wilderness. He is the one who has destroyed the cities. He is the one who has not opened the house of his prisoners. He is the one that made the earth tremble and that did shake kingdom. Him. Right? Through his nuclear warfare, the nations, he had the nations shook. Okay? Through the power of having his nuclear warfare. You see? So this is whom this is talking about. This has nothing to do with the spiritual demon Satan, because the spiritual demon Satan, right, is an angel on the left-hand side, and what? They are all in order. They are all in order. Let's get this. I believe it's 106. It's not 106. It's 103. Boom. The water y'all about to shy. The book of Psalms, chapter 103, verse 20 says, bless the Lord, ye his angels that excel in his strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word. NKJV, bless the Lord, you his angels who excel in strength, who do his word, heeding the voice of his word. So look, the angels are in complete order. Right? They are all in complete order. And Satan is the chief on the left-hand side, angel. And he's just doing the bidding of the Lord. See, you people don't understand that because y'all don't understand the scriptures. Right? And that's all he's doing. He's doing what he was set up to do. But he's hearkening to the voice of the Lord, and he's doing what the Lord commands him to do. Nothing more. You see, he cannot do nothing more unless the Lord sanctions it. Right? So this is just, understanding on Isaiah the 14th chapter, dealing with verse 12, dealing with the word Lucifer, which goes into the illuminated ones, talking about Esau, Edom, and it's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. So Lord willing, I hope it was edifying. So next time I want to say, Shalom.